guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. So please ignore my hair. It was really curly and really pretty, and then I got caught in the rain and this happened. So my hair is kind of a mess, but it is what it is. As per usual, I have my wicked candle in here making the whole room smell like caramel apple, and I have my hot chocolate candle. I am really excited to read some of these stories because some of these stories are really creepy and I'm very excited. So the first one that I want to read is from the ghost story section. It is from the Reddit author gold_introduction 747 and it's titled The Mom Mimic. This story takes place in 2007. My sister and future brother-in-law had just had my nephew and moved into a rental home. The home was newer and located in a newer neighborhood. I was asked to babysit my nephew one evening, and my sister and brother wanted to have their first night out after the baby had arrived, so I was happy to babysit. I came over and my sister went over to some details and mentioned that she had a load of baby clothes in the dryer. She asked if I had the time to take out the clothes and fold them. They left to enjoy their evening, and 30 minutes later, I hear the dryer sound letting me know it was done drying. I scooped up my nephew and placed him in his crib. I went to the laundry room and I took the clothes out and I folded them. I placed all the clothes in the basket and placed the basket on the changing table. I took my sleeping nephew out of the crib and placed him inside his bassinet in the living room. I was watching TV quietly for a while until I heard a loud bang come from the nursery. That was the room that I was in earlier. I peeked into the bassinet and my nephew was still sleeping soundly. I quietly made my way over to see what had made the noise and opened the door to the nursery. The laundry basket I had placed on the changing table was now on the other side of the room, on the floor, upside down. The neatly folded baby clothes looked as though they had been tossed around, so I quickly picked up the basket of clothes and brought them back to the living room to refold. I was confused by the whole situation, but I didn't want to ruin my sister and brother-in-law's evening, so just decided to not mention the incident. The rest of the evening went fine. A few months went by and my sister asked if I could babysit again. I agreed, and this time my mom joined my sister and my brother-in-law as they were going to a casino. My nephew had been napping prior to their departure and my sister said he would need to be fed when he woke up. He woke up about 30 minutes after they left and I brought him into the kitchen and placed him in his chair as I prepared his bottle. Before I go into what happened next, my name is Angela, yet everyone calls me Angie. My mother particularly only uses my full name when I'm in trouble or she's angry with me. All in all, it's rare to hear my full name being used. When suddenly, I hear my mom yelling angrily from what seems like the nursery, "Angelina, come here now." I yelled out, "Just a second. I'm in the middle of making the baby's bottle." Then I hear my mom call out, "Angelina, come here now," but now sounding like she was in the master bedroom. Frustrated and confused, I yelled back, "What's going on?" I picked up my nephew and went into the master bedroom, talking on the way to what I assumed was my mom, asking what the hell is going on? Why are you so upset? What happened? And I walked into an empty room. I looked around and my mother was nowhere in the master bedroom. I looked in the nursery and it was empty as well. I looked through the rest of the home, the guest bedroom, bathroom, and garage, and I eventually checked the driveway for cars and only saw my car there. I came back inside and I called my mom. I said, "Hey, did you guys come back and forget something?" And my mom answered in a confused way, "No, why?" To which I responded, "I just heard you a little while ago. You sounded upset." And she responded, "I don't know what you're talking about. We've been on the road for over 30 minutes. My stomach immediately sank. Once again, I didn't want to ruin the evening and I just told her it must have been the television, even though it was off the entire time. After I hung up, the doorbell immediately rang. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest and I quickly walked to the door. I immediately almost opened the door without checking, thinking my mom was just pulling a prank and she was going to be at the door. I paused for a moment and decided to look through the peephole. No one was there. I opened the door to peek out to see if there were any cars in the driveway and still only saw my car. I instantly got this overwhelming sense of dread. No one was visibly outside, and from where the house was located, you could clearly see the street in both directions. I never mentioned any of these incidents to my sister until she moved out of this rental home. As I was helping her move, I noticed that she had moved my nephew's crib into the master bedroom. I asked her why she had moved it, and what she told me was completely unexpected. She said around Halloween, she had bought a black light and had plugged it into the nursery. The room instantly lit up with what she described as a huge concentrated stain in the middle of the room with handprints going up the walls. She immediately just felt very uncomfortable and moved the crib into her bedroom. I told her what had happened the first time I watched my nephew, and she opened up about the strange things that were happening in the house and the main reason that she was moving. She was experiencing lights flickering in the house, the doorbell ringing when no one was at the front door, and hearing voices. She said the landlord offered to lower the rent if they signed a year lease. She said the landlord told her that he was having issues keeping tenants and she was the only tenant who had stayed the longest. She refused the offer and moved. I always wondered if anything happened in that home and wish I did investigate the home further. I absolutely hate that whatever was in the home mimicked my mother's voice. And that's how they ended the story. So that's really creepy. I don't like things that mimic other people's voices. If I heard something mimic like somebody that I love or one of my friends or my family's like voice, I would freak out. I would definitely move. Your sister is very smart for getting out of there because that is terrifying. I don't like it when things mimic other things. It's just so fucking creepy. I don't like that at all. So the next story is from the paranormal section, and it's from the Reddit author Cjades Weedbed, and it's titled, "I'm not a believer, I just had something happen and I can't explain." I work from home and was talking to my wife inside. I said I was gonna take lunch and mow the lawn. She said, "Okay, I'm gonna take a shower." Fast forward 10 minutes, I'm mowing a patch of grass beneath the bathroom window, which is frosted because it's the shower looking out, and it's closed off into our backyard. I hear 2 raps on the glass and I look up. There's a hand in the window waving at me behind the frosted glass. I assume it was my wife in there showering, so I knock back. The hand waves in response and I wave at it. Maybe 30 seconds later, my wife comes around the corner, clothed, and she was at the mailbox. Edit to clarify, she'd been messing around in the house and had gone to the mailbox before getting in the shower. This is the master bathroom that only my wife and I use. One kid's away at a friend's and the other was across the house in her room. I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that, but I have no explanation for what I just saw. This is more of a question for Reddit, basically asking them, was this paranormal? What was this? Do you guys have any idea? If you guys have any idea what this could have been, post it down in the comments below, because honestly, that just sounds paranormal to me. It sounds like you have a ghost. So that's really creepy. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. And now I'm gonna jump over to Instagram because I do have a story that was sent to me today that I'm really interested in reading because it's another question for the audience. If you guys have any idea what this could be, they are very interested. I wanna put a warning up just in case you do read this on your YouTube that there is some violence mentioned. To start, I didn't have a good childhood up until I was adopted when I was around 12. I grew up in the occult and my biological family practiced a lot of dark magic and stuff like that. One day, when I was about 7 years old, my biological mother's partner laid hands on her in a nasty argument. Suddenly, a large bookshelf, one of those huge old wooden ones from the Victoria era, just fell by itself forcefully on top of her partner after I came downstairs in a rage. No one even had their hands on it, and it was forcibly shoved down by something unseen right at my biological mother's partner. They walked away with only a few bruises, and a while later, my stepsister's dad came over to the house and started also yelling insults at my mom. I came downstairs very angry again, when all of a sudden, the light bulbs on the chandelier started exploding one by one. It scared them so bad, he ran out of the house and never came back. Things being thrown by something unseen when I get angry has been a pretty common occurrence in my life. Another time, I was on a paranormal investigation and I saw a whole line of shadows going down the driveway, and this lady, who was also there, said she was a medium. I never spoke with her before, and she somehow knew about the occurrences of things getting thrown violently when I get angry by something unseen. She looked at me and said that there's something that manifests itself when I get upset, because I had to defend myself in my childhood since no one else would while I was being abused. She described it as like it's manifesting my energy into something unintentionally, and it defends me from bad people. It still happens, but very rarely now that my life is stable and I am happier. It's usually only in bad situations and when I'm extremely upset. Also, I forgot to mention this before, but you can refer to me as Raven in your YouTube video if you do read the story. Thanks for reading. And if someone has some knowledge of what I experienced, I would really appreciate some tips or advice on how to deal with this if it ever happens again. So I don't have any tips or advice on really what you can do in that situation because I've never had anything like that happen to me. I've never experienced anything like that. That is a very interesting situation and a very interesting thing that happens to you. The only thing that comes to mind is like the movie Carrie, where she like manifests like telekinetic energy, or like the movie Matilda from like our childhood with like Danny DeVito. Those types of movies where they like key in on like telekinesis. I don't even know if telekinetic energy or telekinesis is a real thing. Somebody let me know in the comments down below if that's actually a thing that people can do, because that's all that it reminds me of. And they said, that's what I've been thinking, but I haven't really gotten a good clear answer other than what the lady had told me. So I don't really have any advice for you, but that is a very interesting story, and that's very interesting that that happens to you. I really don't have any advice for you, but if anyone in the comments down below has any advice for them, they would love some advice or just some explanation on what this could be. So let us know in the comments down below. And I'm going to read one more of my requests because I do have a couple requests in my Instagram DMs that I haven't read yet. So again, I'm not going to read any names. They just said, hey, I found your YouTube channel a few weeks ago and I have been binging your scary stories every day. I wanted to reach out and share some experiences I've had in my life if you're interested in reading them. The first one I can remember was when I was about 6 or 7. We lived in these old apartments I always got a weird feeling from. I'd wake up from nightmares and run to my mom and my stepdad's room and be told to go back to my room, but I would be terrified every time. For the first story, you need to understand my bunk bed that I slept on. The top of it was directly in front of my closet door, and I also kept my toys and toy chest in the closet and had to clean them up every single night before I went to bed. One particular night, I had a dream about being in the emergency room and the doctors rushing someone past me. I'm not sure if they even saw me or if I could just see them, but the person on the gurney was bleeding from stab wounds, and then across the room, I saw my Barbie doll standing there smiling with a knife in her hand. I tried to run away, but when I turned around, I woke up. It was pitch black in my room, besides some moonlight coming in from my small window. When my eyes adjusted, I noticed my closet door slightly opened, and that scared me even more because I was a very anxious child. I always made sure to close doors because the darkness would scare me. When I went to the end of my bunk bed and looked down, there was the Barbie, laying there at the end of my bed on the floor, out of the closet where I know she was. I know it sounds crazy, but it's still 100% true, and I'm 28 years old now, and I still think about that dream and that Barbie to this day. I have a few more other stories if you're interested. Honestly, this is probably one of the less scary ones, but it was terrifying to me as a kid. You have more stories that are more terrifying than that? Because that is fucking terrifying. Holy crap. I'm sorry, I know some people have mentioned in my comments that I repeat my reactions quite a bit in these videos, and I'm really sorry about that, but I don't really have any other reaction than, oh my fucking god, that's terrifying. I hate that. That's so scary. If I woke up from a dream about one of my toys and my toy was literally in my bed, I don't know what I would do. I would have a heart attack because that is so terrifying. I hate that. That is like one of the main reasons when I was a kid, I had these glass sliding doors and I always had them closed at night because they were like a giant mirror. And I don't think you're even supposed to sleep in front of a mirror, but like my whole closet, like my bed was here and like this is where my closet was, like right in front of my bed, and it was just like this giant fucking mirror. And I was always terrified that that mirror was gonna open in the middle of the night and something was gonna crawl out. And I just always got the heebie-jeebies thinking about it. And that's what that reminded me of, because all of my toys were in that closet too. And if any of them had like crawled into my bed while I was sleeping, I would have freaked out. That is so terrifying. Oh my God. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm probably going to have nightmares now, and I hate that so much. But if you have any more stories that you want to share with me, please feel free to message me them. You guys don't need to ask me if you can send me your stories. Just send me your stories. I will read them as long as they are appropriate for the channel. Just send me all of your spooky stories. The next one that I want to read. Hey, I've been a fan of yours on YouTube for about a month now, and I really love your videos. Something super creepy happened to me last week, and I thought I would send in the story. So my school has a camping thing that people in high school can do in the summer just for fun. And me and my 2 friends decided that we were going to go. It was us, plus 2 teachers, and one more group of 5 students. Basically, we would backpack for a few hours and then set up camp with everyone once we find a nice place. So that's what we did. We each had a huge backpack that had tents, and the hike up to the campsite was pretty normal. We did encounter a wild pig. I'm sorry, English isn't my first language. I don't know what those are called. They're called boars, so you encountered a wild boar, and some sheep. Pretty normal Romanian countryside stuff. But we all kept hearing this really weird, faint chicken noise every once in a while. It stopped before we set up camp, and everything went smoothly until we all decided to go to sleep. I was sharing a tent with one of my best friends, and our other friend was right in the tent next to us. It was about 1 in the morning when me and my tent mate decided to get up and prank our other friend. We could hear him snoring, and we thought it would be really funny to poke his tent and pretend to be a wild animal ready to eat him. So we unzipped our tents and we took out a flashlight and headed out. But as I was crawling to his tent with my friend with the flashlight and her phone recording behind me, I looked out into the woods surrounding the campsite, and I made eye contact with this thing in the trees. It was human-shaped, but really skinny and jagged. The limbs were twisted in a way I don't think human limbs can twist, but it was on 2 legs, and it had arms and a head and eyes, and it was holding a tree with one arm and just watching us. And then I started hearing that chicken noise we kept hearing the whole way. I was petrified. I didn't know what to do. My friend didn't look up, so I was just slowly backing away, trying not to scream. I accidentally kicked her and she made a noise, and that thing literally vanished backwards. Like it sort of twisted back and my friend only saw it for a split second. But we rushed back to our tent and we didn't sleep a wink that night. The next morning, I asked my friend that was alone in his tent if he heard anything, and he said he slept really well and didn't know what we were talking about. The hike back went okay, and there were no noises or anything, but I still have no clue what that thing was. If my friend didn't see it too, I would think maybe it was hallucinating or something, but since she also saw it and everyone heard the noises through the hike, I don't know what to think. Was it following us? I don't know. Yeah, this is my story. This happened almost a week ago, so sorry if there's any grammar issues. I don't speak English very well. No, you actually wrote that really well. That's really great. I don't know what that could be. That kind of reminds me of like a Wendigo because it was making noises, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure because I didn't see it, but like the way that you're describing it, did it look like a deer? Did it have any like distinctive features that you saw, or is it literally just like a humanoid creature with like a twisted tree? The twisted tree reminds me of a story that I've read in the past where I believe it was a Wendigo. So that's what that reminds me of. That's really creepy. And the fact that it was making noises also reminds me of like an SW or a Wendigo. I'm not entirely sure what that was, but because it was in the woods and it was mimicking noises of like other things, definitely reminds me of an SW, and I don't like that. That's so fucking terrifying. I don't know how you would have managed to sleep that night. I know you said you didn't, but like, I wouldn't have been comfortable staying there at all. I would have woke up a fucking teacher. I would have woke up an adult of some kind, and I am an adult. I would have woke someone the fuck up because I hate that. That's so terrifying. But that's another reason why when I'm camping, I don't like leaving the tent. When we all go to bed and we're all sleeping, I don't go out of the tent. If I have to go pee, I bring someone with me because I am not getting eaten in the woods by a bear. But thank you so much for sharing your story. That is really creepy. I have absolutely no idea what that could be. So again, in the comments down below, if you guys have any idea what that could be, if I'm correct and it is an SW or it is a Wendigo, let me know in the comments down below. And this is where I'm gonna end the video because we are already at the 21-minute mark and I wanna get this edited and posted. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this. If you guys made it to the end of the video, leave me your favorite rainy day emoji because it has been raining and thundering and lightning all evening and it is my total jam. I love thunderstorms. So leave me your favorite rainy day emoji. If you guys have any creepy stories, any paranormal stories, or any Let's Not Meet stories, or just scary stories in general that you want to share with the channel, please feel free to message me on Instagram or you can send me an email. All of my information is listed down below in the description box and it is also in a pinned comment at the very top. So if you guys are interested in sending me a story and you don't know what my socials are, it's all listed down below so you guys can find it very easily and I would be very interested in reading your guys' story. Also, let us know in the comments down below, like I've said in this video like 9 times, what any of these things could be. If you guys have any advice or any opinions on what any of these creatures could be in these stories, let us know below in the comments down below so that we can all talk about it and chat about it and hopefully we can give these authors some advice. But thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you guys at the next one. Bye.